The silent rule every ultra-wealthy person follows. What if I told you there's one singular rule that separates billionaires from everyone else? Not genius, not inheritance. It's something far more powerful, and it's hiding in plain sight. Today, we're diving into the silent rule that every ultra-wealthy person follows, the principle that built fortunes worth billions, based entirely on published books, Forbes 400 interviews, and public masterclass recordings. A principle that can propel you to achieve your dreams. So, let's open the vault and begin. Warren Buffett, worth over $150 billion, once said something that stopped me cold. Really successful people say no to almost everything. Think about that. While most people are chasing every opportunity, every meeting, every shiny object, billionaires are doing the opposite. They're eliminating. According to research by Tom Corley, who studied 233 millionaires over 5 years, roughly 81% of wealthy individuals maintain daily to-do lists. But here's the twist. They're not adding more to those lists. They're ruthlessly cutting what doesn't matter. Buffett himself has a famous 3-step process for this that can be summed up with list, prioritize, and eliminate. He once told his personal pilot to list his top 25 career goals, then circle the top 5. Here's where it gets interesting. He told him to completely eliminate the other 20 goals, not work on them later. Eliminate them entirely. Why? Because as Buffett put it, you've got to keep control of your time, and you can't unless you say no. The wealthy understand something most people don't. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that could make you billions. Distraction is more dangerous than laziness. But saying no is just the beginning. There's a deeper pattern here. When Forbes 400 members were interviewed, 75% of them said they made sure to pay off debt and stay out of debt. Not manage debt, eliminate it. Now here's where this gets really interesting. Removing the unnecessary is not just a physical task, it's an intellectual one. Successful people understand that the true battle begins in the mind. Therefore, they intensely protect their time for contemplation and reflection by eliminating distractions. They then spend this time visualizing goals and projecting the steps by which they will achieve them. They meditate on changing unproductive habits into productive ones. They contemplate on the things they can control and isolate the things they cannot. Buffett himself said, "I insist on a lot of time being spent almost every day to just sit and think." Buffett reads over 500 pages daily. He's not grinding. He's not hustling in the traditional sense. He's thinking. The wealthy have mastered something most people never learn: the discipline to be still, to think deeply, and to act only on what matters. Tom Corley found that 63% of millionaires in his study listened to audiobooks during their commutes, and 71% read self-help books regularly. These aren't people consuming content for entertainment. They're systematically upgrading their mind. Building discipline and fortitude internally then manifests externally. For example, every saver investor in Corley's study consistently saved 20% or more of their net pay, 10% to retirement accounts, 10% to savings that they'd invest monthly. Buffett once famously said, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." The wealthy think in terms of decades, not of weeks or quarters. According to Stanford research on the Forbes 400, 69% of those on the 2011 list started their own businesses. They weren't waiting for permission. They were courageously building. But here's the part nobody talks about. They made prudent and courageous decisions, then persevered the climb to achievement. They were also incredibly patient. According to Corley's research, the saver investors' wealth grew to an average of $3.3 million by the final years of their working lives. Not because they got lucky once, but because they made the same smart decisions over and over for decades. It's not about hitting home runs. It's about not striking out. Furthermore, there's another dimension to this that's equally powerful. According to Corley's research, 94% of wealthy people filter their thoughts before expressing them. They're not impulsive. They're not reactive. They've built what Buffett calls an inner scorecard. They measure success by their own standards, not others' opinions. Wealthy people understand that relationships are the ultimate currency. That's why 94% of them filter their emotions, because expressions of anger or criticism can destroy important relationships. Steve Siebold, author of How Rich People Think, found that wealthy people deliberately surround themselves with like-minded individuals, not for networking in the traditional sense, but because mindset is contagious. Buffett himself said, "It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours and you'll drift in that direction." The wealthy aren't just building businesses, they're curating their environment down to the people they spend time with. So, what is the silent rule? What is it that the ultra-wealthy understand and live by that underwrites their massive success? The secret is that wealthy people systematically eliminate everything that doesn't compound. Let that sink in. The ultra-wealthy say no to distraction. They say no to debt. They say no to impulsive decisions. They say no to toxic relationships. They even say no to their own emotions when those emotions don't support prudent decision-making. But here's what they say yes to. They say yes to deep thinking, yes to continuous learning, yes to relationships that elevate them, yes to investments that compound over decades, yes to habits that build lifelong momentum. And if you think that those things aren't accessible to you, pay attention closely to this. According to Corley's research, these habits aren't genetic, they're learned. They weren't given, they were earned. These people aren't lucky. They are prudent, persevering, and patient. The ultra-wealthy figured this out. They built systems around it. And now, you know their secret. Buffett put it simply. Most behavior is habitual, and they say that the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. The wealthy relentlessly broke their bad chains and diligently built their good ones. So, what does this all boil down to? The silent rule tells us that achieving our dreams isn't only about working harder, it's about eliminating smarter. It's about understanding that your attention, your time, your relationships, and your habits are either compounding toward wealth or drawing you away from it. There's no neutral ground. Every moment brings another choice to win or lose. What goals are truly the most important to you? What are you willing to eliminate to achieve your dreams? You now hold the key to unlock the door to success. You need only open the door and begin walking the path. Hit that like button and subscribe, and drop a comment telling me the one thing you're going to say eliminate to this week. See you next time in the vault.